What was the inspiration?
Well, this is my second project. So the first one, I got to get you a copy of that as well. But writing in general became a release for me. I was thinking one day about how much I appreciate basketball and how much stress it takes off me when I hoop. But then what happens if I can't hoop no more? You know what I mean? Like you could always coach, you could always do all kinds of things within the game, but you need a different release. And just through years of trials and tribulations, I cultivated this gift of writing and writing down my feelings and kind of just expressing life and different things through putting pen to pad. So really, that's the inspiration behind that.
Right. So what's normally your writing process when it comes to like from the beginning to the end, or like how you sit down and get your thoughts together?
You know what?
With the first one and with this one.
My style is a little unorthodox. The first one, it took me forever to write, and this one I wrote in like 4 days. So I think pain usually is the motivator. You know what I mean? Like I got to get real angry at something, at whatever, a job or whatever, to want to actually complete a body of work. Just with like a notepad, I'll jot down different ideas, or I'll just start writing a story, and then I'll figure out how to put everything together later on.
Have you always been a good writer, or just you actually got? So would you say you got better? Because
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. In high school, I used to write people's like research papers for money. So I've always been able to put a story together or a paper together, if you will, always. That's pretty much it, man.
All right. So what's the easiest and the hardest part about writing?
So the easiest thing is kind of letting your ideas just flow, and not really worrying about who approves and who doesn't approve. Like, because somewhere in the world somebody's going to be like, this book is for me, or this thing is for me. You know what I mean? Now everybody ain't gonna like it, but you're gonna find out that there's so many people in the world that can relate to what you're putting down. So that's the easiest thing. The hardest thing is getting that motivation to finish. And like now for me, it's done. But the tricky part is like, what to do next as far as promoting and getting people to support you. Those are the toughest things. And then actually believing in yourself, man. Like I used to wake up and be like, man, who do you think you are? Or most people think that in order to be a writer, you have to be, this person with like all these degrees and stuff like that. Man, anybody can write. You know what I mean? So
that brings me back to you said you want to make sure it's relatable when you write. So how is this book relatable, and who is it geared towards?
It's geared towards really any kids. I want to say like between the age 11 and 14. But if you just enjoy, like some people just enjoy a good story. So if you enjoy a good story, the book is for you. As far as it being relatable, the way I write it is that you could put yourself in the main character's shoes and just see the world through his eyes. Regardless of if you're it's about music. So if regardless if you're a music lover, whatever you got going on, whatever your dreams are, whatever your passions are, you can put yourself in his shoes and see it his way.
So what do you want the reader to take away from this book after reading, and they relating to it, whether they are or not, whether they enjoy it or they don't? What do you want them to actually get out of it after they finish reading it?
Simple message, man. Just do what you love. Do what you're passionate about, regardless of what people think. Of course, it has to be something positive. It can't just be, something crazy. But you're a writer, you're a ball player, you're a chef. While you do pictures, you do music, you do all kind of productions. Do it regardless of what people think. And then also the grown up side would be to do it because you love it and not because you want to make $1 from it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's, without even reading it, that it's about having a happy place.
Yeah.
And actually tapping into something.
Yeah, regardless of what's going on around you, because a bunch of stuff is happening as the story goes, but he just pushed through. You know what I mean?
And back to like what you want people to take away from it. You told me your son read it in an hour. What would you have liked him to take away from it specifically?
The main thing is for him to see his father put together something so great, and that he takes that and says, well, if my dad can do it, I can do it. And then to follow up on the message about just doing whatever you're passionate about. So if he wants to be an engineer, even if I want him to play football, if he wants to be an engineer, I want him to be passionate about that. And not necessarily forget what I think, but, just chase his dreams no matter what. And same thing for baby girl. She want to do ballet, and I want her to be a teacher. It don't really matter what I think. And also the message is that we have to remember that as parents, sometimes we just put this accidental pressure, or sometimes it's on purpose. You got to be this, you got to be that. Or you come from a family of dentists, so you're going to be a dentist too. And it's like, nah, I don't want to do that. So we got to remember, to tap into what they want.
And so what would you consider like this book to be? Because it's different characters. Like you got the biographies, or a novel, or fiction, or realistic fiction. What kind of book is this? What category is it in?
I feel like I'm going to come up with a new category today: relatable fiction. And we'll Google that later and see if it's an actual thing. But if it's not, then make sure I get the copyright on that.
Right. So is it based on like true events, or did you pull it from real places?
Not really. I mean, some of the characters are real people and do the real things that were said in the book. But the person telling the story, and he doesn't know this, but it's a good time to tell him, is from a childhood best friend, Toby Jackson. This dude used to question everything, every single thing he would question, and it was annoying. But the person telling the story is like that. He literally questions every single living and non-living organism. Like he's on it. So yeah, some of the people are real things or come from real actions.
And last question is, how do you feel after accomplishing this as a whole? When you look back at it, and, you're holding a book in your hand, you're getting orders in.
Yeah.
How do you feel when you look back at it?
You know what? It's a surreal feeling, man. One of my homies describes writing and publishing books equivalent to like making it to the league, and I don't look at it like that, probably because I'm just hard on myself. But the more books I sell, the more feedback I get. It makes me just feel like it really is an amazing thing. And sometimes you just can't believe like you came up with this. Like when I read it, and you'll see, it's like, damn, I really put this together. So it's just a surreal feeling, man. But
that sums it up.
all right, but
I just want you one time to give a clear, like, to the audience of the background of the story, and just like as far as like walk them through.
Okay.
What it's generally about. Just introduce it.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. So 88 Keys is a story of a young man named Tyler. The book is actually going to be narrated by his best friend Sam. And basically they go on this like musical adventure where Tyler in his own way inspires his whole family to to continue to triumph no matter what. There's some tragedy, there's a little bit of violence, mild violence. But Sam is going along with Tyler the whole way through this musical discovery, and he basically encourages him in his own way to keep going, and it's just a great story. All right.
One more thing.
Yep.
You think about doing an audiobook?
Yeah.
Have you ever even like?
Yeah. So the Kindle process is next. But of course, yeah, if I could do an audiobook, man, that would be great, because the way the world is, people want to have it the way they want it. So somebody might not want to read it; they just might want to hear it. So I'm for whatever. Hopefully, I could turn this joint into a movie one day, actually. And of course, we'll talk about that. So.
All right. What you got coming up after this?
I'm working on something else called Unlikely Survivors. It's about a little girl and old Asian man, and they become friends while riding the train together, and they exchange cultural differences and stuff like that. It's gonna be probably even better than this.